Hey, what's up? It's Alex. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything that you need to make a podcast all in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
This Thanksgiving, a new film from the coked-out mind of Stephen King. In a neighborhood hiding something sinister, Adam Schiff is one man who just wants a clean house and will have a big, smelly problem.
Who shit on my floor? Seriously, I just got this cleaned. Who's there?
Potential Supreme Court nominee and all-around creep Ted Cruz stars in this horrifying film that will make you lose your shit.
Oh my god. Whoever he is, he just shat all over my floor and wiped his ass with that copy of the Constitution over there. And look over there. He lost his balls. They're over there in the trash. Oh no. I hear him. Here he comes.
Exactly the opposite of what they're saying now. Everyone has switched positions, and so the whole promo you're pushing about hypocrisy, if you want to say it, you could
The Poopy Man, coming to a theater near you.
say everybody involved in this is a hypocrite. Now,
Sometimes you gotta go back and go forwards. But sometimes you don't have to go anywhere at all. Instacart makes it so you can order your groceries, pet food, and more from home. So you can do what you need to do, whether it's praying to the Lord or playing with your willy. Whatever suits you best. So what are you waiting for? It's time to transcend your physical form. Follow the link in the show notes and create your account and start feeling alright after you do your shopping. Instacart. Just do it, man. Ladies and gentlemen, the Short News Podcast with your host, Alex Mador.
Has got a powerful price.
What is up, guys? Welcome to a very, very special episode of the Short News Podcast. It's Sunday. What are we at? October 4th, 2020. That's crazy. That's pretty insane. I have a special guest here with us today. If I'm getting the last name wrong, let me know. James Senicola.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. I'm so glad, because that would have been embarrassing for me.
Just the amount of parents and stuff who are like, "Oh, Mr. Coca-Cola." I'm like, nah, close
Mr.
enough.
Coca-Cola.
It's good enough.
Mr. Coca-Cola. Oh my god.
You ballparked it. We'll call it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad I got it right. And here, I'm just looking at the input and output volume here, making sure everything is good. Technical support 101. Okay, perfect. We're in. Awesome. So, James here wrote a very funny book called Trump's Lessons for Kindergarten. and it is a children's book for adults about our wonderful, glorious leader and how he would get through kindergarten. So, do you want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, I'll do my shameless pitch real quick. So, long story short, or short story long, we'll see what happens. I minored in political science for a short period of time as an undergraduate, and I just found a fascination with how politics work, and I kind of stuck with it. I was always interested in politics, um, but that was not a world I was ready to go into, and it's not a world I'll probably ever go into because it's insane and crazy. And
Yeah.
I think you have to be a smidgen of just complete and utter egotistical to
Oh,
really
definitely.
ever want to be in. I
Definitely.
mean, like I said, just look at your boy De Blasio. Like he's got this fan so about
I think,
him.
like, personally, honestly, like, I think I have that a little bit. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a podcast.
I mean, it's healthy. It's healthy for an artist. Like an artist. I mean,
Yeah.
even though Kanye is completely lost his mind, like God bless Kanye. He's going through stuff, and I'm not like joke. I'm not trying to make fun of stuff he's obviously going through, and
Yeah,
nobody's
yeah, of
trying to help
course.
him out. Because mental health is a serious issue, especially
Absolutely.
in art. But I mean, like, you can't even look at graduation and not say, "Wow, this is one of the best albums." Um, I mean, that goes for any genre of music. You just like, or just general art. You have to have that level. But there's also like that kind of absolute power corrupts absolutely kind of mentality,
Yeah.
and I think you have to be completely okay with that to ever really go into anything above like a state or local position. Once you get into the federal government, you get people like Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, those
I mean,
monsters.
even to extent, and I'm AOC, and I don't agree with everything that AOC does. But I like her mentality. I like this uber progressive mentality because I was big like growing up. I studied history. See, I already went off on this massive tangent.
Oh, don't worry about it.
I don't want to take over the show today.
No, no, this is what it's about. This is what it's
Well,
about.
your newsies or your shorties. I don't know
The
what
shorties, yeah.
whatever you decided to end up calling it. I think it's like I don't know what this old man talk.
What? No, no, we need other people on this show. We do. Like, just me talking alone, it is kind of it is kind of narcissistic. Pretty
Uh,
heavy.
there's always a little bit of good narcissism, but
Yeah.
I went so back to my initial tangent. So like my mom, my dad, and my dad. My mom was a Democrat. My dad was a Republican. My dad was a very traditional Republican. He like believed in states' rights, and like I think right around the Reagan administration, he stayed Republican, but Reagan kind of flipped everything that made a Republican, and everyone just kind of followed along because he had that Trump cult-like status where people are like, oh, like he's amazing. Oh, let's just pretend that he didn't just pretend that AIDS wasn't a problem. Oh, like that's everyone just forgot about all those aspects of who Reagan really was and didn't even realize that he was really turning that Republican Party away from what it was.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you ask any reasonable historian, they'll tell you that by today's standards, Nixon was incredibly progressive. By today's standards, he was like hardcore progressive. But
Right.
they weren't huge political people. They just kind of like they watched and they listened and they never got too deep in. And then the second that Trump got elected, and my mom the whole time she's like, "Oh, there's no way the Republican Party's going to nominate him. There's no way the Republican." Because like I'm from New York originally, and you're from Connecticut, but you pretty
Uh-huh.
much spent a good chunk of your life now in New York. Like you
Yeah.
ask any New Yorker, they all hated Trump. They couldn't stand the
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
before he ran for anything, they hated. He was just like, it was like, oh, there's no way. There's just no way. There's no. And then he got the nomination, and then they were like, oh, my mom and my dad are like, oh, there's no way he's
Yeah,
gonna.
there's no way.
He can't possibly be Hillary. Mind you, Hillary was probably one of the worst choices they could have made.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
So bad.
And he
I
just
was
like,
upset about that.
yeah, there were so many better opportunities. And I honestly think that, well, I don't agree with everything that he says. And, you know, like, I know any people who like hate listen to your podcast are going to, you know, be like, well, I should note that I've been listening to your podcast. We became friends because I started listening to your
Yeah.
podcast. Shout out to you. So, you know, to everyone out there listening, shout outs to Alex for, you know, becoming my friend, you know, via Twitter. And we just started talking. And, you know, so you should definitely follow him if you're not already. But I guess if you're listening to this, you're probably already following Alex. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If not, it's okay. Most of it's just me yelling at de Blasio.
But yeah, you know, it was so when he won, my mom just became obsessed. I mean, CNN for the last 4 years, well, actually probably for the last 5 years now, that woman has had nothing but CNN on in that house. My father would wait for her to fall asleep just so he could change the channel to something he wanted to watch because it would be CNN, 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 CNN. And, you know, we were just, you know, we were just sitting down and we are talking, and I'm like, you know, and this was about a year, maybe 2 years ago. I was like, you know, he acts like a child. He acts, and I'm not just saying that from like this, oh, Donald Trump, he acts like a child. I'm like, no, he does things that I see my fourth graders, and for a short time I taught kindergarten and I taught middle school and I've taught high school. I've taught different grade levels. But he does things that my fourth graders do. He's done things
Yeah.
that kindergartners do. He responds in the same way, which anybody who studies developmentalness, like you know, anything along the lines of childhood development, which every teacher has to take at least one class in, you're like, oh, he's supposed to be out of that phase.
He's developmentally stunted.
Yeah, oh, very much so. And I mean, people go, he's not developmentally stunted. He's a grown man. No, he's he's not mentally all there. Probably because he never really had to. He never really had to
Yeah,
be there.
exactly.
And so I was like, yeah, you know, he acts like a child. Like he's probably like kicks and screams when someone takes his phone from him. He probably like throws himself on the floor of the Oval Office and he's like, give me back my phone. Give me
I want my
phone.
cheeseburger in bed.
I'm telling you, man, that I feel like maybe if enough people go out and buy this book and we have the extra money, you do a audio version of this book.
For Audible.
Yeah. You're listening to the greatest book ever written.
The greatest book of all time.
So we you know, I started you know, making jokes about it and like, you know, just like acting like, you know, he was the greatest kindergarten president that ever lived. He runs the kindergarten. And then it just developed into, you know, Trump's lessons for kindergarten, which everything is spelled incorrectly because, you know, it's really supposed to be from his perspective and how he would write. You know, and there's a lot of like the picture, you know, the pictures. I'm by no means an artist. You've seen the pictures already. Obviously, we can't flash them up on here. This is, you know, an audio medium, but you know, the pictures. I got a little bit of help from a good friend. She's like, well, here's how you draw the base, and here's how you manipulate the computer and everything like that. And I you know, I was like, I'd say about 6 months ago, I finished it, and I was like, okay, all right, you know, what am I going to do with this? And my mother and my father, my sister, my wonderful girlfriend Nicole, they were all like, "Oh, you should publish this. I think this would be really funny." And I mean, of course, you know, your family, your loved ones are always going to be like, "You can do it. You can do anything. Believe in yourself.
Yeah.
You can fly." You know, and I mean, that's what I do to my students, even though I know that my students, they're you know, there's certain things they're just not going to ever be adult, but I never tell them that. So I'm always like, eh. And then, so I reached out to you, and I reached out to another podcaster slash comedian, who I don't know. Do you want me to say the other podcast name on the show?
Yeah, let's give him a shout out.
Is Knowledge Fight, is with Dan and Jordan. And Jordan is he's a comedian, but he also does this whole thing with Dan, and it's basically poor Dan has to listen to who's that crazy dude, lives in Texas now. we were talking about him the other day. He like screams at people all the
Alex
time.
Jones?
Alex Jones. They
Yeah.
basically, it's Sunday. I've been grading papers all morning. But Alex Jones is like, he listens to every one of Alex Jones's episodes, and then he just breaks them down, and he breaks down all the BS in Alex's stuff, and so not this Alex, by the way, but Alex Jones, and it's just like you sit there and Jordan just like loses his mind, and he's the comedian, so so I reached out to two of you, and both of you were like, oh, this is really good. Yeah, I think people will really like it. And so I was like, okay, and I bit the bullet. I went with the first publishing company, self-publishing company I could find, which may turn out to be a mistake, but I'm not gonna badmouth them in any way right now. But hopefully it won't be a mistake. But because there's been some issues. But at the end of the day, like I went, we put it out, we put it together, and it's gone live now, and just trying to get it out to people and see if I can make enough money to replace the tires on my car. That would be nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's help James replace the tires on his car. And check out Trump's lessons for kindergarten. How to survive school the best. The best.
Yeah.
The best. You're gonna need this book. You're gonna need it.
But yeah, man, that's pretty much it, And then I just I spend my days trying not to get COVID because I live in Florida. I actually only live like, I think it takes 10 minutes from my house to get to Trump's Mar-a-Lago.
Damn.
But I live in like the poor area because I chose to go into education, which I accept. I made the conscious choice, but like,
no, that's more power to you, man.
But I love what I do for a living.
Yeah.
But it would be nice, again, like I said, to not have to worry about like, oh, how am I going to replace the tires on my car and still pay my like my electric bill. So it's just, this was me trying to like get people to laugh and make people laugh, but also I'm not gonna lie. I'll be like, yeah, I'm hoping to sell a couple books, stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was going through the marketing thing with my album over the summer, and I tried all different types of ways, and finally something started working. But yeah, you got to go on like a campaign almost.
Yeah, maybe like I'll just start booking myself at random bookstores. Just walk in, set up a chair, and just start be like, hey guys, sir, you can't be in here right now. But I'm just trying to sell my book. Don't you sell books here?
Sir, do you have a permit to be here?
But yeah, I mean that's the long and short of it. And you were nice enough to let me come on and talk about it. And stuff. Yeah. I appreciate it.
Of course. And let me see if I can do a page from the book in a Trump voice.
Yes.
What's the best?
Yes.
What's your favorite page that you want to hear Trump?
Oh man, well, I think with a lot of them, you really need the picture really goes along with it. But maybe the one with the school class pets.
Class pets. Oh yeah. That poor cat. Oh my God. That poor cat is just being violated by young Donald Trump. I like his shorts. I like his shorts a lot. I didn't notice that. He's like got schoolboy attire from the waist down.
Yeah, that was like always the image. We still
Absolutely.
I was like, I want him to have this baby face, but whenever I say we, it's because I had a lot of help.
Yeah. Okay.
Friend, so like this is how you do it. But I think if you can get through that whole thing in that Trump voice, like I owe you like a free cold brew.
Let me see if I can do this. So lesson 11. Class pets and how to care for them. Dogs? Stupid hamsters? Who am I, a Hollywood actor? Fish? Lame. The best class pet is a pussycat. Why? Because they're great. They do whatever I say, and you can grab pussies whenever you want. But make sure you grab them fast. They won't like it, but who cares? Sometimes you can get in trouble when you just grab them. But you can lie and say you didn't. Who are the adults gonna believe, you or the pussy?
That's Oscar worthy right there, man.
When I practice a voice, I haven't been doing this enough because I just don't want to get noise complaints. But I interned at Ralph Lauren when I was in high school, and that was the time of like the birth of the Christopher Walken voice. And I would just sit in my office with my like partner in the office and just go like, now it's gonna be crazy, and just do that over and over again. And then I got stuck talking like that. So now, like anytime I say now, it just sounds like now.
It's a good walk in. You remember when he did he did a music video for Fat Boy Slim?
Oh my god, my favorite music video of all time, Weapon of Choice.
Like people don't realize that that's him dancing because
Yeah.
he was classically trained, like he's a classically trained dancer. So that's actually him dancing, and it's just like to fathom it, and you know, I mean, like your young listeners who probably never even heard of it, they've gotta
You gotta
Google
check
it.
out Fat Boy Slim, Weapon of Choice music video. Christopher Walken stars. He's got the moves.
Yeah, and I think he was like 60 something when he did that too. So he's like, you know, I mean, you can't not be impressed with the guy.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I remember my uncle showed me that video on his. He had like the new iPod video at the time. That was a thing. And he was like, check this out. This is the greatest music video of all time. He showed me that, and I maybe watched it like 100 times.
Okay.
Such a good video.
I'm just taking a sip there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna run to the bathroom real quick, but all right, I'm gonna pause this and then we can pick up. This is the cool thing about this software is you just hit a button and then hit the button again and you're good to go.
Do what you got to do, man.
All right, all right, all right. One sec. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. So a lot's been going on in the world. I mean, we know about Trump and what's going on with him. We can talk about that in a little bit, but I thought it would be cool if we went over the debate that Lindsey Graham apparently got absolutely owned in.
No, yeah, man. It was. I mean, if you got to watch a little bit of it, but I was telling you earlier, it's like every time I think it's Jamie Harrison, right?
Yeah,
Is the guy he's running against Jamie Harrison?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jamie Harrison, like, so I put it on to watch it. First Jamie Harrison. I don't know if I'm guessing he brought it, but he put up his own like divider, like glass divider to the side of him, like between him and Lindsay, between him and Senator Graham. You know, and like so he has this. He has
oh shit. Oh no, 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 no. Uh-oh. Technical difficulties. No, I think that's on me. Let me see if I can let me see if I can. Okay, share screen, and here it is. Ah. Ah, okay. That's the SNL. Oh, that's loud. Oh, you can't hear anything? Let me see. Stream settings, stream quality. Damn. Here, let me pause the recording real quick while we figure this out. Okay, so yeah, there's this debate between Jamie Harrison and Lindsey Graham where he apparently schools Lindsey Graham multiple times. And let's see where this goes. Let me just hit play here.
And educate our kids about all of that. But at the same time, should be safe. if it is the law of the land, which it is at this point in time. But what we need to do is look at healthcare, and particularly healthcare for women. You know, here in South Carolina, we have some of the highest infant mortality rates in the country. I don't know if you all know this, but 2 years ago, here in South Carolina, 14 of our 46 counties had let me repeat that, 0 OBGYNs. Many of our hospitals in some of our rural communities are closing right now. What are we going to do to tackle these disparities in healthcare that women, and particularly minority women, are experiencing right now? Senator Graham has failed in his 25 years to properly address these issues.
Senator Graham.
Well, Amy Barrett is one.
Not Judge Barrett, not the Supreme Court. You know, this has impacted me personally, Judy. My grandaunt Gladys passed away this July in a nursing home by herself. That is the story that so many Americans are experiencing right now. And part of why we're experiencing, no, we're not going to blame the president. We shouldn't blame the president. We shouldn't blame anybody for the inception of this disease. But where blame should come is how we handle this disease, whether or not we take it seriously. You know, tonight I am taking it seriously. That's why I put this plexiglass up, because, you know, it's not just about me. It's about the people in my life that I have to take care of as well. My 2 boys, my wife, my grandmother. We need to make sure we are addressing the issue here in South Carolina. We have had 750,000 people unemployed here.
He has some really good points. Okay, so Discord crashed for a second there. So some of the audio got cut out, but only like 2 minutes at most. So here we go, back into it.
Flip side, where the people that live out in these rural areas, like, they don't get this virus is killing people like us who live in the cities, and they're killing us fast.
Yeah.
And it is dangerous. Yeah, you guys are more spread out. Like, my sister lives, you know, where you live in New York. She works for HSS, and you know, she's finally back in the hospital, but she was freaked out. And thankfully, I live in Florida, where it's a little bit more open. But still, we have a lot of cases. There's been 2 cases at my school already.
Oh God, that's scary.
Yeah. So I don't want to bum everybody out, though. We're supposed to laugh. I'll end this mode of conversation.
No, it's what's going on in our world right now. Everything is up in the air. People don't know what to do, and now the president has coronavirus, and that's fun.
I mean, I don't wish anything bad to happen to him, as much as I can't stand our president. Even, like I said, my mom hates Donald Trump.
Yeah, same with
but
mine.
Neither one of us like no one should ever wish death on the guy. But
No.
at the same time, you're like, dude, you've pretty much been so inactive that a lot of these deaths, they're on your hands.
Yeah, it's kind of karma.
Yeah. And I wish him a fast and speedy recovery, but this huge piece of me just wants him to have 1 or 2 bad days.
Yeah, just to feel something.
You know, where like he sees the ghost of Herman Cain and he's like, yeah, we need to make changes to your ability.
Donald, you fucked up.
Exactly. I mean, like I said, I don't want to see him die or anything like that. I think it's a shame, even though I think Herman Cain, there's a lot of issues with that man and the way he voted and the way he swung things. And I think he really, really didn't do his job well. But, you know, I mean, it's a shame that he had to die, and that he had to die because he had to stand on this hill of, I'm going to support Trump.
Yeah.
Like, there are hills you need to stand on, and this is a hill you don't. Republicans, conservatives, I beg of you, this is not a hill you need to die on. It's just not. Corona doesn't care who you vote for. Corona doesn't care what kind of life you live. It doesn't. It's you know, it doesn't care. It doesn't care.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a virus. You could care less who you are or what you believe in. There's no point in dying on this hill. No one's going to think any less of you. You're not going to be any less Republican if you say, you know what, maybe we need to take this a little more seriously. You know, mask mandates. I love when you say all these people flipping out about masks. You know, are those the same people who are like, what do you mean no shoes, no shirt, no service? What are you talking about? I should be able to walk into this Piggly Wiggly without my shoes and socks and shirt on.
Yeah, I love
No.
those videos of the Karens refusing to put on masks and just getting really mad about it, as though they're so entitled to infecting everybody.
Yeah, it's. I mean, my wonderful, beautiful girlfriend Nicole, like she wears a. She's also a teacher. She works in a high school. She wears a special mask because she can't wear a mask. It's hard for her because what happens is she has like it irritates her skin too much and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So she literally has this visor with masks along the sides that don't cup against her face. Guess what? She wears that. That's what she wears, and it doesn't touch her face. So when someone's like, "Well, I have a condition that doesn't let me wear a mask on my face," no, you don't.
Exactly.
I wanted to
Exactly.
key that in with a special B word, but again, I
You
signed a
can't.
piece of paper saying
It's
I can't
okay.
be it.
It's okay. I can say the things that you can't.
Yeah.
I'm not being I'm not going to be a teacher anymore. I was in the New York City Men's Teach program, but then I realized I don't even want kids of my own. So why would I want to deal with someone else's kids?
I get it, man. I still think I told you weeks ago. I still think that you should just kind of look into seeing what a guidance counselor does and being a guidance counselor. I think that would be just your life story. Like there's just the stuff you told on the podcast, and I'm sure there's even more that you're keeping close to your chest.
Yeah.
Like, but that stuff, like so many people go through it, and it's a lot easier to take counseling and guidance from somebody who's like someone who can say, "Oh yeah, at 20 something, I really didn't have everything together. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was still dealing with this stuff. I was going back to school, like, and I figured it out, and it took time, and that's okay. And I think that kids need to hear that because kids are so wound up, Alex. Like they're so wound up. Like
Absolutely. Yeah.
I had a kid yesterday who said that we found out later he was over exaggerating. But he's like, I'm gonna hurt myself if Joe Biden wins. And this is a child younger than middle school age. Right? I
Wow.
can't give a lot of details of
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
and we had to follow protocol. We had to check, we had to have a specialist come in and check in on him. And I was like, that's what this race is doing. Like it's causing anxiety in elementary school children, and it shouldn't.
Yeah.
It should not do that. It broke my heart. And he's like, "Well, I was just over exaggerating." But the fact that he even knows the names Biden and Trump outside of them just being people that he's heard about on the news, just like kills me. It just crushes my soul.
Yeah,
And,
they've
like,
become such polarizing figures of like the dark side and the light side, and depending on what side you're on, you see it differently.
yeah,
And
yeah.
people are just so panicked now, myself included.
I mean, I think there's reason for panic. I think that it's not abnormal. You got to find your zen, your chi,
Yeah.
or your
Yeah,
talk to
no,
your
I believe in that stuff. Yeah.
and just be like, okay, well, I'm not going to freak out until anything matters. But an amazing journalist slash podcaster that everyone should listen to, along with Alex, that everyone should listen to, is now. See, my brain never works when I want it to, but it's his Twitter handle is at I write okay. It's terrible that I
Let me
can't
see. I'll
remember the
take a
name.
look. I write okay, you said?
Yeah, at I write okay. But while you're looking up his name,
Oh, I am not Robert Evans.
it's Robert Evans. Yeah, Robert Evans. Robert Evans. He's a really good journalist. He's been to the Middle East. He's been during wartime, during fighting and stuff like that. He put out a bunch of different podcasts, some short series. One of the big ones he did was "It Could Happen Here," and it's all about America going into its next civil war. And like you listen to it, and now is probably the worst time to listen to it. So I'm gonna just say maybe you should listen to it right now. But he goes through all the steps of potentially what could happen that would cause a second civil war in America. And if you got like the little Robert Evans checklist, you go, oh no, check,
Oh no.
check, oh no, check. And you're like, this is not looking good. There's way too many check marks on this page.
Too many symptoms.
Yeah,
If it was
too many.
WebMD, you're gonna die in 4 days.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I think that feeling that I'm sure a lot of your listeners have is, oh my God, what's going to happen? Well, I think that if you're slowly going to see that it's not as bad as we're making it out. I want to believe I'm right about this, that you're going to eventually say like, oh, you know what? It was the media really hyping it up, and our hypersensitivity to Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, and though TikTok I think is probably the more chill of the different social media platforms.
Yeah, TikTok is fun. It's a lot of fun.
That's what social media was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Now that's gone. That's so dead. It's so completely and utterly dead.
Yeah, Twitter is just a disaster these days. Like I'm lucky enough where I've like curated like my feed to a point where I only see things that I would want to see. But it took like 5 years to finally get to that point with my Twitter. And like if I go outside of my little bubble, it's scary out there, man. It's like people just hate each other so much.
Yeah, man. No, I mean, I did a Twitter ad. I did like a $50 Twitter ad. I'm like, you know what? I want to see if people. I want to get this book out. I want to get it in people's hands. I did a little Twitter ad. It took maybe 2 hours for some like hardcore righty to just like try to go after me. As soon as possible, I was like, dude, it's a satirical comedic book that's geared towards adults. It's a children's book geared towards adults. I was like, how could you be this angry about something that I know for a fact you haven't read? Because it takes it takes 6 days for it to get to you, and you just posted it. I was like, you're so full of anger and hate for no reason. I was like, I don't even have this much hate for him. Like, I don't have this much hate for a man. He's a walking joke. So I made a joke book about him because he's a walking joke.
Exactly.
Like I don't have any hate in my heart for Donald Trump. Like hate is for people that are absolutely horrendous human beings that have done terrible things personally to me, or to the world.
Yeah.
I guess you could argue that he does have if people hate him, they have that right.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on who you are or how you feel about it. Yeah.
I mean, you have a right to hate him if you hate him.
Yeah.
But I don't. There are not a lot of people I hate that are currently living in this world. Because hate is crushing and it kills you. That's all it does.
Yeah, exactly. And like Twitter people, I've run a couple Twitter ads about this show, and that was a big mistake. Because a lot of those people were very right wing, and I was accused of being a part of a paid conspiracy by like the leftists, as though like this show that I'm recording on a MacBook Air with a USB microphone is somehow funded by like George Soros or something.
Soros!
Yeah, this is the George Soros Short News Podcast.
By the way, Jeff, if you're listening, George, if you're listening, I could use some money.
Yeah, George, please sponsor the show. Like, I'll let you put your name on it.
All over it. I'm fine with this.
The George Soros Short News Podcast for George Soros.
Yes.
Featuring Hillary Clinton.
With Alex Medora. Guest starring Alex Medora.
Yeah, guest starring. I just like do the beginning, and I'm just like, okay, now you guys talk about your demon shit or whatever it is you talk about.
Oh man, that'd be great. But yeah, it's ridiculous. It's all ridiculous. Conspiracy theorists are just whole people that they're so special.
I love looking into that world though, and just it helps me understand why there's so many people with such backwards views, because it wouldn't make sense at all. It just seems like insanity, just like unhinged insanity, the things that certain people say. But when you look at, like, okay, where, like, the Podesta emails say this sort of wording that is a little bit not straightforward, I can see how an idiot would take that as, oh, pizza means children and children are being sold, and like I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get if you're like that paranoid and unstable, then you're gonna see those connections where they are. Like, I've done LSD before. I know what it feels like to be like that.
Yeah, I think that I think that the loudest voices, and this everything I say here is theoretical. Like,
Right.
I don't want anybody like finding me on Twitter and going, you don't know what you're talking about, actually. But really seriously, no offense, but like at the end of the day, it's the loudest voices, and the voices that talk the most tend to be the most unhappy, or the most like, the most depressed, or the angriest people, because they have so much going on in their world. And I think that when you get sucked into those groups like Q and all that other stuff, it's because you're looking for answers, and you're willing to take anything that is an answer, as long as it makes you feel a little better. You know,
Definitely.
like, oh, there's all this terribleness going on, but child trafficking, which is a real problem, but it's like Bill and Melinda Gates have been running a program that literally is trying to end, trafficking, child trafficking, and they've been running this for like 4 or 5 years now. And Q, like, they went out and they did these rallies, and and they had to change the name of their rally to, like, it was like Save the Children, I think, was Bill and Melinda Gates, and then they changed it to like the children need to be saved, or something like that, because they think that Bill and Melinda Gates are in on the take of like trafficking children. It's like,
Uh,
why don't what evidence could you possibly have other than one person doing a Q drop,
yeah,
which which, which my friend Chris Yamaguchi, man, would say they missed out on a great opportunity to call it a Q tip instead of a Q
a
drop.
cute. Yeah, they missed the boat on that. That
Yeah,
would have been fantastic.
totally missed the boat on it. But they're not happy people, so they're not looking for anything that could be slightly funny, because like, oh, this is very serious. And I'm not bashing them. I think that they've probably got a lot going on in their worlds, and that's why they're drawn in and pulled into this, what's ultimately a cult. And that's
Yeah,
what it is. At the
yeah.
end of the day, it's a cult.
Those are like the
Um,
same people that believe that Bill Gates was part of the pandemic.
yeah, he wants to. He wants to inject us with mind control devices,
They
even
want to
though
chip
every
us.
even though like every single scientist will tell you we don't have that level of nanotechnology yet, and there's just no viable way to really do it, even at $1 quadrillion.
Yeah, yeah. And besides, we're already being tracked in every possible way.
Yeah, yeah, you're on Twitter. I know the government knows where you are. Trust
Yeah,
me.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, that's my rant.
Like, I have Amazon Echoes in every room. I have my location service is on. I have a podcast where I say where I live. Like, I
Yeah,
am I'm an open book.
yeah. I mean, the only way that you can truly be like free of being tracked is if you live off the grid, completely off the grid. And I mean that's a wonderful. I love going out into the woods. I miss. We don't have a lot of that in South Florida, and I definitely miss New York, and like being able to go out into the woods and go fishing, and just enjoy nature. And
I
but
haven't done that in so
like,
long. Oh,
I know, right?
that sounds
It,
like the best thing ever right now.
yeah, and it is, and it's like just to be out there like 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I've never gone hunting. I've gone with my friends as they've gone hunting. Uh, Not that I have any problem with hunting. I was just like, Like I've never fired a rifle before. I've fired handguns. Handguns are a different story, but I've never fired a rifle before. And so I was like, yeah, I need to be comfortable with this before I do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I don't miss 4 in the morning smelling like deer urines with 3 other dudes sitting in a, like sitting in a friggin', like little stand up hut waiting for something to come through that they built, falling apart, and you're just like, you guys really enjoy doing this, huh? Like, yeah, that's
I
why
would
we
say
built this thing.
just go to a shooting range at that point. It's much quicker.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, venison's delicious.
I've never had it before, but I do hear good things.
Yeah, it's pretty tasty. But that now we're a food podcast.
We're everything. We're all kinds of stuff. Like
Today we're gonna
that's like
today we're
the
gonna talk about a lovely, like, we're gonna have a little lovely fried egg on the top, and
there was an episode where I literally had the Amazon Echo like show me a recipe, like a random recipe, and I read it to the people that were listening. Just because I was like, oh, that looks really good. How to make rice pilaf this certain way? Hell yeah. Like this
you gotta
show
give the
is
fans what they want, man. You gotta give them what they want.
like this show started mostly just because I listened to a lot of podcasts and I was like, okay, there are things that I wish that they would talk about that they don't and they're not going to. So why don't I just do it myself? And I already had like I already not owned, but I had the short news as a show just because I was an early adopter to this app. And the people in the app actually wanted to like acquire the intellectual property. And I said no. This was like 4 years ago. And I just forgot about it. And then when I wanted to start a podcast, I just called it the short news because I had it already set up.
That's awesome, man. Like, I think that you have probably a better grip than most people on how do I keep my intellectual property my intellectual property.
Yeah, yeah, like all my music is under my own label. And I don't know, like I don't work well with others business wise. I mean, like I just like I don't see myself ever being in a band just because they're like every band I've ever seen has broken up. And I just like I like having friends. I don't like losing friends. So like
Yeah,
I like if I do anything that's like very like mentally taxing, I'll usually do it alone.
I think that's. I mean, I'm not a musician. Like, I'm not an artist in any way. Um, but I think that, like, that allows you to breed success because you don't have to. You're taking on that full brunt of that hard work,
Right.
and you're not going to put any of that anger. Like, I mean, it's natural. Like, even when I was working on the book, which by no means will I compare it to the complexities of music making, but
No, it's
um,
similar. It's
you
similar.
know,
Definitely.
they've got aspects of similarity, but I'd say making music's a lot harder. Um, but, like, like, there'd be times where I would just be so annoyed and frustrated because something wasn't going right. I couldn't match up these lines. Trump's hair looks stupid, and that's just in general, but in the book as well. And Zane, I'm the schoolyard, I'm the bully.
Got him.
Yeah, my fourth grade disses. Um, but it's like, and I would go upstairs and I'd be agitated, and Nikki would be in bed, like watching TV, and she'd be like, "What's wrong?" I'd be like, "I don't want to talk about it," and I would almost put that negative energy onto her. Um,
Yeah.
or like my mom would call and be like, "How's the book going?" And I'd be like, "I don't want to talk about it," and just like putting that negative energy on her and my father and stuff like that. You know what? Like, I gotta do it, walk away from it. I'm frustrated and take a break, go sit outside, go stare at the tiny little duck poop filled pond that's out back in our development, and just just try to relax. And so I think like what you were saying, and I keep taking over, which I feel terrible about.
No, don't worry about it.
But like you were saying, like you take on that by yourself, and I'm trying not to blow up your ego too much because I don't want you not being able to fit out your own door. But like I think that's it's going to be harder. It's going to take more time, and it's going to be longer. But I think you're taking that right path of like how do as an artist, what do I do? And I think that great bands do break up all the time. Hopefully not BTS, because I've met some of their amazing fans.
Yeah, same.
They're obsessed.
They are extremely. There's some crossover with them and me.
No, they're intense. Like all respect for the BTS. Like I had one girl who just like, she saw my post and she thought it was funny and she posted it, and then immediately underneath it's like the BTS, and I don't really know much about them. I lived in Korea for a year. You'd think I would, but like they're like one of them doing a very like poetic dance, and I'm like they're gonna be, if this group ever breaks up, they're gonna have the same kind of reaction that my generation and the generation like slightly above me had when Kurt Cobain left us.
Yeah, it's gonna be tragic.
Yeah, and that'll just be a breakup. But you know what? God, props to them for like just being. I mean, they're so hardcore that Trump got into a fight with them.
Oh no. Everybody. It's everyone. I'm just waiting for my name to come out of his mouth. Just like the fake news. I call the short news the fake news. And that guy, little Alex Mador, doesn't know what he's talking about. Little Rocket Man. He mixes me up with like the only Korean he knows.
I mean, the dude starts fights with everybody. He's like, oh, Bette Midler? Yeah, you're still relevant. Let me have a fight with you. Oh, Roseanne Barr? Wait, no, I think Roseanne likes him.
Yeah, they're friends.
Yeah. Rosie O'Donnell, I'm going to have a fight with her.
Rosie O'Donnell, nobody's safe.
Like, it just like starts a fight with anybody and everybody. It's like, yeah, no, I have students like you, dude. Like, it's learn how to ignore people. You are the president of the United States. Learn how to ignore people. It's not hard. I teach fourth graders to do it all the time. Learn how to ignore people. Not everyone's going to like you, man. Like, it's okay. Okay, not everyone likes you. Learn how to ignore them, because if you don't, you're just going to look like the crazy person.
Exactly. He's way too reactive to the criticism.
Yeah, like you literally picked the one job where it is 100% legal for people to lampoon you, to make fun of you. The only thing that people aren't legally allowed to do is make death threats towards him.
Exactly.
And, like, if you're making death threats towards him, then you're a nut job. Like you probably need to spend a little bit of time in jail. But like that's your job. You are the public servant. Like, I'm a public servant. Like, people, but people can't do all that kind of. People can pretty much say anything they want about me as a public servant, and I for the most part, I have to take it. Like, they can't. There's certain legal things they can't do because I'm not the president of the United States.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Sorry, I'm just giving my cat this painkiller real quick.
Oh, she's still not feeling good. I'm so sorry about that.
Come on, Susie. Susie. Don't eat me. Don't eat me. Oh, there we go. Okay. Got it. Now she's on her drugs.
Flying high later.
Oh, yeah. Flying high on those opioids.
It's an epidemic in the world among felines.
The feline opioid epidemic.
That kind of annoyed me. Like when you watch the debates too. Like, they really didn't. They had an opportunity. They really didn't cover how the opioid epidemic is still a massive problem. It's still a massive.
Yeah, 100%. Huge problem. I've lost friends to that shit. It's It's so messed up.
I mean, and you go into like middle America, and like these small towns are being destroyed by it. And like, it's like Biden didn't really, address it much either. Like, you guys want to have the highest office in the United States of America. You want to be in charge of so much. Well, guess what? There's whole communities being destroyed by opioids. Would one of you like to at least comment on what you think you might be able to do about it? Because, like I'm sure there's a place called Georgeville, Tennessee. I'm just throwing a random name out there, but like a small Georgeville, Tennessee town of mostly farmers and like small business owners, and they're trying to make their day, but every single one of them's got a family member who's fighting this crisis, or they've lost for this crisis. And these two are like, I'm going to yell at you. Oh, I'm going to yell at you. I'm going to yell at you. I'm going to yell at you. No, come on, give me an answer, and don't give me a half. Like, don't give me your Trumpy answer. That's not really an answer. We're going to do good stuff. Well, you do a better voice than that.
We're gonna do the greatest things. So much opioids. So much opioids. Oh, so many. I've taken so many today.
Oh man, it's funny. It's just like you think about how much the political landscape has changed just in the last 10 years, where we were talking about it earlier, where like Howard Dean.
Yeah, Howard Dean.
Yeah. And that was in the news cycle for like 5 days, and I'm sure people remember that Dave Chappelle sketch where he's like, no, I watched it, no, and that literally destroyed. He was a front runner, and that was one of the things that destroyed his running for the presidency at the time, and it was such a big thing for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Sorry, I found it.
And I heard it too this time.
Yeah. Here, let me see.
Would have given anything for that. And you know something? Not only are we going to New Hampshire, Tom Harkin, we're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. We're going to California and Texas and New York. We're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
It's just like, and that's just a dude that was just really excited about like how he was doing in the polls, and he's like, we're gonna take back America. And then like flash forward 2020, you got Donald Trump Jr. and his girlfriend up going like, bah, 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 and they're on drugs.
Yeah, 100%. 100% on drugs.
Because they're not that excited to be there. They're not excited. It has nothing to do with them. They're not excitable people. You know what excites them? Well, I can't say what excites them, but you can. Go for it.
Money and booty,
among other things. And it's just like, yeah, that and that's the impressive thing about Trump, is that he has made it so that the news cycle is not even a few hours old before it refreshes.
Yeah, definitely. Like I forget about half the stuff he's done because it's just constantly refreshing.
Yeah. You forget. You've already forgotten that he basically told the Proud Boys to just stand down, but stand back, or
stand by,
and stand down and stand by.
Stand down and stand by.
Like, we've already pretty much forgotten that because now he has COVID and he's signing fake pieces of paper.
Yes. It was just a blank sheet of paper today. Just completely blank. Nothing on it. Just his big old Sharpie marker signature. Like he's a baseball player.
Yeah, I can't. Listen, I'm not going to judge him on it, because there have been times where I'm like, I'm going to call your parents, and I would just grab a Post-it note and scribble something on a piece of paper, put it off to the side just to make the kids think like, better act up. He's written on a piece of paper, and that's all his fans are like. Look at him working hard.
Look at him working hard with that piece of paper. There must be important stuff on that piece of paper. And then like someone on our side is like, it's blank. And then on their side, they're like, it's just invisible ink. Only he can see it.
Yeah, he's got those sweet Trump eyes.
Yeah, he's got Trump vision.
Oh man. Oh, we're burning. We're just this country's burning down.
Yeah, we're not in a good place as a country at all whatsoever.
Yeah. But I think there's always hope, man. I think there's always hope.
I hope there's hope. I really hope so.
I think what what all the like the hardcore MAGA people like what they don't get is that Trump said Trump's like make America great again. Well, no, here's the thing. What makes America great is our ability to consistently and constantly change and adapt and to be willing to say these are problems, let's change them. Like you've been learning about systemic racism, like, yeah, it's still very much a problem, but it isn't nearly as much of a problem as it was when, slaves weren't even considered people.
Right.
And unfortunately, the change has moved at this incredibly slow, snail-like pace, and that's because of who we elect and allow to be in our Senate and our House. Because let's be honest, that's where most of the power comes from, is the Senate and the House.
Right.
You can, if you don't understand what I'm saying, not you, but if people don't understand what I'm saying, there's this really, really, really great thing called Schoolhouse Rock. You can.
I remember that. Yeah.
It explains tons of things about how the government works. Go watch it. Go educate yourself on how the government works, because but that's what I'm saying, is that's why I believe there's always hope that things will get better, because I believe in America's ability to change and to say these are problems and we need to address them and solve them. And we haven't done a good job in some ways, but in other ways we have. Like nobody's shooting union members for picketing when they want change.
Yeah.
You go back to like the late 1800s, and it's like, yeah, you want to not die in this coal mine and pay the company store more than half your wages. Here's my gun, here's my bullet. Now you don't have to worry about it. And we don't have that anymore. So if you want to sit and you want to say, oh, no change has been made, this is still the same horrible country, the same country that it's always been. Well, no, that's not true. What makes this country so great is its ability to change. But he wants to go back to a better day. Well, what better day does he want to go back to? How does he want to make America great again? You tell me when it was on its own just great.
Yeah, when was it great? No one knows when what he's referring to.
Yeah, it's like, no, what makes America great? Its ability to change, not its ability to go back to the 1950s where people, because they were a different color, couldn't sit at a diner and eat something. Like, that's not great for them. What makes this country great is its ability to change and make it so that that's no longer the problem. And I think that like your generation, I think 10 years is a generation, right?
I think so.
I'm a math teacher. I'm going to get yelled at by one of my friends who listens to it. But and I studied science. I studied social studies, history for 4 years. But maybe I'm thinking of a decade. I think I'm thinking of a decade. But I think that like people your age and people younger than you, like those like who are 16, 18, I think they get it more. I think that like us in our people like me in our 30s, our mid to late 30s, like we kind of get it. Like we're starting to get what people need, and people in their 40s, like they have a small inkling of it. But most people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, like unless they're incredibly woke, I think they just don't get it. Like I don't think that they can really fathom like what needs to happen and what needs to change and how we need to be as people. And I think that you and the generations below you, I think you guys are going to take America into this amazing place where we go back to being this beacon that we were at one time of hope and freedom. Um, for anyone who was like, I'm going to leave my country because my country sucks. I'm going to come to this country because this
Yeah.
country looks awful.
We need to get back to that, like being the land of opportunity for and safety for so many people. Um, and instead, we have people that want to be American refugees.
Yeah, I'm moving to Canada. I'm
Yeah,
moving to
yeah, exactly. Canada, 100%. Legal weed, flavored jewel pods. Uh, that's really all I know about Canada.
social medicine. Social medicine.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Social medicine.
Yeah.
That's better than here.
No, totally. I mean, I was lucky enough to, live in. I was lucky enough to spend. I lived for 8 months in Australia. I lived for a year in South Korea. Um, and I was able to travel, and living there is a very different world. And both those countries have socialized medicine. Like where everybody, and they also have, but they also have private medicine. Like they have private healthcare.
Right.
And I have friends and family in Canada, and they have, and it's like socialized medicine is not us becoming communist or following socialism. It's saying that everybody has the right to medical. And these countries, and albeit they have smaller populations than the US does, and I totally get that argument. Well, the population is smaller, it's easier to manage and stuff like that. But you're telling me that some of the greatest minds in the world here in America can't come up with a financial way for us to have both private and public health care? I mean, that's, for all intents and purposes, that's kind of partially what Obamacare is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're already on the right track to getting that. And you know what? Do I want to lose my private health care? No, because my private health care is pretty good. But does that mean I don't want other people out there to have the right to health care? No, I think that's a human right. It's a human right to be able to go into a hospital and say, I'm in bad shape and I need someone to fix me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's upsetting all the time when I just hear about there's people that have serious medical issues and they just can't afford to get the help that they need to be alive.
Yeah. It's I mean, just the cost of um oh man, diabetic medication.
Insulin?
Insulin.
Yeah.
Insulin. Like if you look into insulin and you like find out information about insulin, you find out that the what they use to make insulin hasn't changed in like 20 or 30 years. It's still the same process, and they've refined it a little bit better, but it's still pretty much the same process, and it still pretty much costs the same amount of money to make it. Yet
Jeez.
the cost of insulin has doubled. But what did Trump say at the debate? It runs like water. Like water.
Yeah, it runs like water.
Well, don't tell that to the people who have to spend $100 per shot of insulin, are struggling to make that payment.
Yeah, that's
don't let them.
so messed up.
And that's something that needs to be solved by some real.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think like those less polarizing issues are the things that people don't talk about as much. Like we need to remember those things as well as just like he's racist and he's not. And I think like even I get caught up in all of like the attack ads and all of like the character assassination and the drama, and you start forgetting about the policy there. And that's something that I've had to stop myself and be like, hey, like, yeah, you can keep attacking his character, but like also there are serious things, like serious consequences to Trump being president anymore, not just him being a dick.
Yeah, No, and that's the thing is like my not to continue shamelessly plugging myself. Like my book, that's exactly what it does. Is it kind of attacks his character all day because his character does not have to be a reflection of his politics. His
Right.
character is what makes him ridiculous, funny. His politics are what's truly the problem. I mean, his character, like, he does not behave the way a president should behave. And everyone's like, oh, well, look at this president who did this and this president who did this. Like Lyndon Baines Johnson used to sit on the toilet and yell at his aides and tell them like things from the toilet while he was dropping dues. I mean, but then he didn't go out and like back talk people. He didn't destroy people out in public where everybody and their sons and daughters could see it because he understood that at some level you had to have some idea or some concept of how to behave as the most powerful person in the world. And like Trump has no concept of that. Like he just attacks anybody. He says whatever comes out of his mouth. He's like, yeah, this seems like the right thing to start coming out of my mouth. And so, I think that, but that shouldn't govern how you view him as a president. It should govern how you view him as his attitude and acting. You say like, well, if this is the person that that I want running this country, like, am I okay that he acts this way? And unfortunately, for most recent polls, 48% of the U.S. like totally okay with him running like that. So now let me ask those 48%: would it be okay if me, as your child's teacher, because keep in mind that President Trump is on TV, you're not, and on the internet, and your kids aren't being monitored 24/7 unless you're a helicopter parent. They have access to everything that comes out of his mouth. So would it be okay if I acted the same way as your child's teacher? I can act the same exact way, and you're totally okay with that? I'm willing to bet 9 out of 10 are going to say, no, it's not okay that you act like that because my child looks up to you as their teacher, and my child, follows what you do. Well, what do you think people do with the president of the United States of America?
Exactly.
So, I mean, but if he acted that way, but his policies weren't so horrendously bad, though he did make it illegal to abuse animals, which I got to give him props for. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's like the one thing that he did that I was like, you know what? All right, like that's good.
Yeah.
That's like the one thing that like he's done during this whole 4 years that I've been like, all right, okay.
Yeah, no, I'll give him. I will always give credit where credit is due. I think that's great. I think that you can't treat animals poorly because they're a huge part of what makes us people and everything like that. But yeah, almost everything else, almost all his other policies. There's maybe like a handful here and there where I was like, yeah, that's the best policy option at the end of the day. But like other than that, most of his stuff is horrendous.
Absolutely. Here, I've got time for maybe like a few more minutes, but then I gotta make dinner and I have to do my laundry.
I feel like I've been just dominating this conversation.
No, this has been great. This has been fantastic. Like if you weren't here, it would just be me like talking to myself.
I know, but that's like all your fans who listen to your podcast. That's exactly what we tune in for. We're like, oh yeah, Alex is going to talk to himself, and he'll probably show some video of some dude like trying to chase down a child molester and stuff like that.
Yeah, those are funny. Those like bros that pretend to be Chris Hansen. And they're like, yo, what are you doing, bro? Like, why are you here, man?
Was that way? Is your name Hot for Little Ones 365? And then some creepy dude is like, no.
No, I'm not here at the exact location where you told me to meet you in the exact clothes I said I'd be wearing next to the car that I said I'd be driving.
Now those, like, I'm glad those people do what they do. I mean, if you how dare you ever take a child? How dare you?
It's fucked up. Like I wanted to be one of the dudes that catches those guys so badly. Like that was what I wanted my career to be. But then I was like, do I really want to be just constantly being exposed to like this grossness?
Yeah, I think that's hard. I think being consistently and constantly exposed to that, I think that would have more of an effect on your mental.
It does, definitely. Like I tried catfishing a predator once. This dude in Georgia who like hit up one of my meme pages and thinking that I was like a kid. So I just went with it. And I was like, yeah, I'm 14, haha. And dude was just, it was so gross. But he was like mostly trying to get money out of this kid that didn't exist.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that there are people out there like that. I mean, I talk to my students constantly about like just being safe on the internet, because I don't think they completely get it yet. I think they're too young, but they're all on it. I mean, with digital learning, my kids are. I know half of them aren't paying attention to me, and they're playing Minecraft online or something like that. And I'm just like, listen, there are lots of terrible people out there, and you need to be very aware of what's going on, and you need to tell an adult immediately because there are terrible people out there, and I think just going backtracking for a second, I think the one thing that you can take from like the QAnon grouping is that even with all their crazy conspiracy theories and literal problems that they cause, like they are a terrorist organization, but like I think people are now that like people like the news is like saying like, oh, QAnon is putting out all this information about child sex trafficking and things of that nature, that almost in a way it's reminding people that this is a very real problem that does very much need to be stopped. And in a way that Ashton Kutcher, like I can't stand Ashton Kutcher, but he's a big proponent for like preventing this. Who was Batman, our last Batman?
Um, Ben Affleck?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ben Affleck, big proponent for like preventing sex trafficking. Bill and Melinda Gates, and I urge your listeners, if they have a little bit of money and they're like, well, I could either get this amazing looking book that sells for pretty cheap online, or I can go and I can donate this to one of those organizations. I'd rather they donate it to one of those organizations, like a legitimate organization. Do your research with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Go onto their website and really donate to this cause, because it's 2020 and children should not have to be suffering the way that they are like this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like, it's so messed up that this has been going on for so long. And that like it goes from normal people to all the way to like famous people in power that are guilty of these things.
Yeah, alleged people.
Alleged.
Yeah, alleged. Which, I mean, Weinstein. I'm literally down the block from the Palm Beach County jail where Weinstein was, not when he hung himself, but or allegedly. No, I'm sorry, Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm pretty much down. Sorry, Luna's got a toy.
Oh.
Not right now, Bubba. Come on. But yeah, I mean, like I'm down the block from where he was, and it makes me sick to think that the stuff he was doing was happening right here in Palm Beach County, and that it was no one was ever like, something seems wrong. But I digress.
Sorry, I'm just getting a text from the other room saying that the laundry people are coming. So we might have to cut it. We might have to cut it here.
Yeah, it's good, man. I really truly feel like I ended up dominating, and I feel terrible.
Dude, we got to do this again, like real soon.
I'm always down to have a conversation with you, man, and you know how to get at me.
Absolutely, I got your number now. I'll be in touch for sure, dude. And I'm just gonna be editing this, and I'll get it up as soon as it's done. I gotta do some magic with the audio just to make it stereo and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know any of that stuff, so I'm trusting whatever you're doing, man.
All right, well, I'll take care of that then. And I gotta go take care of this laundry stuff. But dude, you are welcome on this show anytime.
I appreciate it, Alex. If this book hits big, I'll pay for you guys to come find out.
I appreciate it.
Well,
So
I mean, after COVID.
yeah, oh yeah, definitely after COVID, definitely. So everybody listening, the shorties out there, the book is called Trump's Lessons for Kindergarten: How to Survive School the Best, and written by James Senicola. Check him out. Check out the book. And that is the Short News Podcast for today. And I love you all, and I will see you soon. Peace.
It's really that time of year, and your team might finally do it. Or if you're a Rams fan, you might just want to book the trip now. This year, Super Bowl 56 is in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium, February 13th. You can scour resellers to buy an overpriced ticket closer to the day, or you can lock in the Super Bowl experience of a lifetime now with our friends at On Location. True 50-yard line seats, only available with On Location. An invite to celebrate on the field with the champs. On Location, yes, you want to craft a perfect confetti angel like I did? Go to the game with On Location, and it's not just about gameplay. From dinner with NFL legend Marcus Allen to pre-game parties featuring acoustic sets from Wyclef, the official hospitality partner of the NFL is offering the most exclusive ticket packages available. Want to know how? Visit onlocation.exp.com/SP56 or search Super Bowl On Location. That's right. Search Super Bowl On Location. Make the trip of a lifetime. It's your shot. Take it.